Okay, hello to everyone. So I'm playing, well, two MTTs, but those on the bottom left we are not that alive anymore. And on the upper right we have actually lost a few thousand from our stack, but still have something. And then we have two SNGs running. And we should have the settle free roll thing starting in a few minutes. Bottom right we had second pair, only half pot lead here, but he continues against two players, so we are just going to give up at that point. And okay, we actually have an outie. Let's put it here on the top left. So that is the free roll. So it's going to be top 3 getting the 2,000 euro packet. So basically it's going to be your chip EV until we get to something like, well, let's say top 15 or something. Of course it depends, like if you get some sort of mega chip lead position, there can be, but it's probably quite unlikely to get into such a huge chip lead when you have 15 players, for example, remaining, that you would be just folding into the ticket. I mean, satellites, I haven't played that much satellites, but one general thing is that if you do get into stack position, that you can basically fold yourself into the price, then it doesn't really make that much sense to be risking your stack anymore. So folding even really strong hands can make some sense. And one thing about this free roll is that there tend to be people sitting out earlier, so we might get a lot of value by just people sitting out if we are lucky. I had on the top right 9-8 of hearts, well, I would have probably raised pre-flop, but it would have been a much more reasonable hand to be semi-bluffing on the flop. So on the bottom left we are going to be all in on next hand pretty much. I actually run into aces here. I'm only a bit over, like something like 14-15 BP deep. Late wrecked into that one. So bottom right, flop goes check. We hit the 4, so we should have best hand relatively often. Tier 6 doesn't really help, but at the same time I think there is quite a lot of possible busted hands, and he might not be value betting like that thinly anymore. Okay, well, he had overpair tricky line pre-flop, I suppose. And we lose the bottom left. We can probably still buy in, but it's such a short stack situation already that I'm not really that eager about it. On the top left we lane bet only 1/3 of the pot, so let's call with the A high. Of course, if he bets again, we are often in a kind of a nasty situation, but at the same time I think folding is a bit weak for against such a small bet. And we get like all the overcards on the bottom right, so my plan was to check and probably c-bet some blank cards, but ace and king, so there is pretty much no value in betting at any. Well, we can bet flop, but it's again kind of a questionable if there is value. Once again, these junk bets. Well, it's three-way, we don't really have much, so let's just give up. And bottom left we actually hit the practical match, blind versus blind. So I'm just going to raise here. I will just call some of the bigger flushes, but I think we want to kind of protect this one. And turn is fine. We can bet around half pot here. And if they will lane call, we can have quite a clear shoving situation, unless some flop comes pretty much. Well, he folds. Oh, on the top right, I open raised and checked the flop. I think c-betting would have been fine as well, but here we have some showdown value. And that's one of the downsides, that we could probably get some of those small pockets to fold, but c-betting small would probably be a little bit better line from those positions. I have been quite a lot of Omaha playing recently, so let's see how this game goes. Well, king 9 is basically always plus EV shove on the bottom right. And ace 3 suited will then is open raising 3x, but it's a bit too strong to still be just folded. In offsuit ace 3 I don't really mind folding either, because we are going to be hitting so rarely. And these are always kind of nasty spots, especially when the villain uses quite big sizing. If he had used like half pot or a little bit less, I would have called here, but I think when he goes that big, it starts to be a bit questionable. Let's take new 25 euro SNG. Well, 5 queens suited we can defend here. Offsuit I would definitely fold. And the limper shouldn't be folding much anymore, so there is still going to be some fold equity. This is unfortunately the case. Top left we get such a great price that we can definitely call the suited king and get into some troublesome situations that way. I mean, offsuit scrappy king I would definitely just fold, but shooter is definitely decent. And we actually get the gutshot as well. Now the question is there fold equity, and I think it's going to be tough against 3 people on this board. And I don't really love the idea that I bet and face someone shoving, but when he bets 200, I think we definitely have to call at least, but again, I don't think we have much fold equity here. Let's just take the passive route. And yeah, he had the queen here with the ace kicker, so definitely not folding, but we got good enough price basically. We had 9 outs to plus 3 from the straight draw, so 12 outs, and basically 3 from the king as well, but 15 outs. And the ace is definitely sharp on the bottom right. Top left I'm going to be ISO raising the limper. He's usually going to be folding or calling. And we have the position, so, and it's relatively blank flop, so I would have gone for the c-bet, but he makes really fizzy don't shove. So we have to fold. Bottom left, we don't really achieve that much by c-betting, so I will go for check calling line. And he limps again. Well, this is going to be the absolute bottom of my ISO raise range pretty much. And interesting turn card. If he bets now, we would actually have a pretty great spot to be. Well, now he limp shoves. I'm actually going to try to check shove here on the bottom left. Give him the possibility to try to bluff. And I mean, if he actually has decent flush, he's probably going to be value betting it often. Well, not the strongest start on the leave packet thing. Ace 3, we are a bit less than 20 big blind deep, so standard I'm going to be shoving against the min raise. It's not bad to just call, but in general I would prefer to call some suited small to medium aces if we want to have those as calling hands, because those have better playability post flop. And obviously have to call with bottom pair and open-ended straight draw. I was just curious that how they got all in here. So this guy just shoves middle pair for absolutely no reason, pretty much. Of course, not a great thing that the queen comes, but against the half pot we still often have the 8 outs. And we could be sometimes good with our hand as well, so as we are this time. I mean, we shouldn't be beating any sort of value hand at all anymore. On the bottom left here would be some merit in betting the flop just for the equity denial reasons, but yeah, now we are just, after checking the flop, we are mainly just aiming for showdown. Okay, jacks, do we get any? But top right, we can't really play pocket threes. Shoving is too much, and raising is not really recommendable. Bottom right, we have pretty strong hand because I would expect this will then to be probably three betting decent amount of time. Then he has the ace-x. Queen and suited, we could actually just limp to prevent the situation that we min raise and the villain is going to be shoving. I think I will float here. We have some nice backdoors here, and sometimes the queen can be good as well, but for example here my plan is going to be bet myself. Villain could still have some weak pair, maybe some random king high for some reason. So it's not like our hand has huge amount of showdown value necessarily. And bottom left, I'm just going to shove the ace-4. It will be trapping sometimes, but I don't think it's going to be that often. I could actually check again. We can definitely bet as well, but I think giving queen x into checking range is quite nice, and it's going to be, well, would be somewhat thin to be betting 2 street and river. And 10-9 is kind of similar in a way to queen 10 that I don't really want to be raise folding it. Well, I think he's going to have queen or 10 here really often. He probably split against the 10, so, and maybe he's sometimes bluffing. And bottom left we can just shove that 50 blind ax. And it's relatively dry flop on the top left, so let's try to take the pot down when the pre-flop aggressor checks, though we don't have really much here, so not really something I would necessarily recommend. I think I'm going to just chip it here when we have the open ender. I mean, people are usually not playing flush draws like this, so I think we are going to have huge amount of fold equity on average. And bottom right goes check, check, check. This is definitely spot where we can rep some hands. On the top right we could have just shoved as well. I think it's on the borderline that any shallower I would pretty much shove, and so on. On the bottom left, it seems like that villain is pretty aggro against the limping, so can't we run into aces? GG for that game. Quite a setup. Well, we still get 30 big blinds, so let's register reply. Reply again. And here on the outside table, I'm 3-betting against him. With our 10 PP stack with the plan to call if he shoves, but he actually calls. No, he folds. Okay, so it was cold call from this guy. Well, against him, I think we want to bet around 1/3 and fold if he shoves. Well, I don't think I will be getting much of better hands to fold, so I suppose it's going to be check fold and we probably lose. Well, on the bottom left, I could have gone from the non-all-in shove as well. So let's limp again with nutty hand. Hope that he raises again. And the classical situation happens. No, he doesn't raise. Oh, he doesn't raise. Well, I think I kind of prefer just betting and trying to deny him the chance to bluff or get something free. But he calls. And we kind of have to be check folding. Usually I would just shove that ace queen, but talk to go for the limp trap this time because Ville had been raising the limp so far every time, I think. I've been decent shoving hand, but button goes for the shove. And so that king I'm going to be playing with that stack depth. And we evaded ace. Bottom right we have practical nuts, so there's not really much point. Anything else than shove. Well, what? Well, bottom left, I think I see MNAS wise, I think shoving is fine, but the villain is somewhat wide, it can be in minus EV probably. Well, that call was actually reasonable. Strong start. I'm not a big fan of calling that King 8 type of hand on the bottom top right, because it's not going to be playing that good multi-way. And we can go for bet on the bottom left. A decent amount of reverse. Well, top left, we have 3 players sitting out, so it's actually from cutoff basically. This guy 3 bets, it's actually quite close to gamble spot. I mean, this point. On the flop I see bet because my hand is going to be best really often and we want some protection for our hand. Well, of course we have to fold. So basically, even though the bottom left hand kind of looks drawy, it's basically quite dry against most villains. Range. Bottom left, the question is, can we get some sort of Jack X to fold by triple barrel? We don't block. 4-5 hard draw. I think we can try to do it. I wouldn't bluff with busted hard draw here, but the spade draw is much less worse because it's hard for the villain to have that many spade draws in a row. Well, I'm most likely going to be check calling on the bottom left. We have the backdoor flush draw on the flop. But now, of course, if he double barrels, this is not really hand to continue. We can have a lot of AXs and so on, so no need to continue with that one. Well, let's defend that suited hand on the bottom left. Again, not really flop for my range or hand. Well, bottom right, we have to call at least 4 betting this deep. I don't think really make that much sense, especially from position. And if he checks, I will be just checking back. And this is kind of a spot that it's going to be hard to get too straight of value, so if you then had checked, I might have checked behind again, but we have to call pretty much against his bet. And now he shows we block ace is ace king, or he can have some pocket kings or something along those lines as well, but I think we are probably too high in our range to be folding. This king 8 is something that we can just check fold. And considering there is 4 players sitting out behind me, his poet 6s are kind of mandatory shout here. And he calls with deuce 4. So I think this guy would be a good source of value if we get a little bit of good cards. Obviously after seeing that call. If something can be called donation, I suppose that is it. I will check call with the king jack if he bets in. Unfortunately, we didn't get any equity and he continues betting, so I mean, if I bet myself, Len is not really going to be folding anything better. It kind of is the same thing on the bottom left, but we can sometimes bet other table going for check raise with the gut shot, and it worked. We get a great price on the top left, but don't really hit anything. And queen 10 has to be defended top right. And top right we have pretty decent shoving hand. Whatever here is open raise or if it's folded to me. Seems like today C bets are not going to be working. Top left, kind of interesting spot if this guy raises that. Do we want to be just shoving? Because he calls that total garbage before, so. I mean, we were kind of short, like 12 big blind or something, but obviously it tells something when he did raise call that total garbage. Oh, he folds. Going to check call on the bottom left. I mean, he can have the queen, but he could also sometimes bet maybe bigger 6x for protection, and he could have some sort of 4-5, 5-7 type of hand. Or 3-jack it seems. And kind of had to defend this queen and shooter, but only missed the flop, so can't really do much here. And other table again, losing with bigger pocket to smaller one. Nasty run right away. And top left, not really such a great flop. I mean, I don't even have backdoor flush draw or anything to go with that. Bottom left is actually kind of interesting. Well, I will go for the min raise, but if the small blind shoves, we have to fold. Maybe I should value shove that king jack actually. I probably should have shoved that. It was just kind of automatic fold. And I should have actually raised. So try to remember that we are not in the full table. So UTC and we are actually like kind of cut off or something. This guy calls, we have the A high, so some showdown value. I think I will just check back here. Probably not improving to anything. But we actually do improve. We were good anyway. I just called to trapped here on bottom right. I think I will call again. Hope kind of a blank river comes, so he will triple barrel, and I will be shoving. We have the second nut, so if he has this nut strike, then just can't beat. He folded pretty quickly, so probably bluffing. Little bright, I was thinking about just shoving pre-flop, but I think it's probably fine either way. Ace king, I will be raise calling against the small blind as well. And he's drawing for 2 outer and he nails the turn. Oh well. Sometimes it does feel a bit rigged, has to say. Well, I think we can just shove here. Have only less than SPR2 on the turn. Oh, we have the same hand. Oh, ace on the top right. That was lucky for us. I kind of have to open that 5-4 suited. 3 players sitting out behind. Of course, there is risk that this guy goes for the move. Oh, I think this is actually pretty close in this scenario that we could defend, but we have to continue on that flop now. If we do defend. But it's kind of tough to continue if he double barrels. We didn't get any equity. But I would imagine that Willan is going to be shutting down a decent amount of time because we are actually going to have good amount of king X tier once we call. I don't think he's going to be bluffing with total air that often. But yeah, I don't think it's usually quite this heavy, sit out heavy in this game, but yeah, it's kind of funny 9-handed table and we have 3 people playing. Well, guts of 2 overcards, so against normal sort of c-bet and against small c-bet we definitely can't be folding. Ace was crappy too. And we have to fold again. Right, we are going to be 3-betting here. And yeah, I think I will just shove here, especially because of this color guy. I don't actually think he's going to be folding often at all. He actually had decent hand. On the top right, I didn't want to really run into aces. One of the big suckouts for us as well, of course, really standard. Really standard. Three-bet shove. I don't see too much point in betting in top left. I suppose it can be sort of in value, but I'm pretty happy to just check it down and try to get to showdown. Even if I give some free equity, it's tough to get, probably tough to get weaker hands to outside of some A-high type of hands to call. Well, I think Jack 9 shooter is pretty close, though we can't call against the short stacks 3-bets either, but still has some nice postal playability and so on. Interesting flop. I'm going to start by checking. So I don't know if there is too much risk about him check raising, but it's still going to be somewhat of possibility. And bottom right, and the will lane check. I think there might be some value in betting. It's pretty rare that he would take that line with anything better. And on the bottom left, Willen can be betting here with a lot of weaker stuff, so I'm just going to be raising for value and protection. But I don't know if there is plus completes at least here, so let's just take the safe check back option. He was trolling. And I think we can value bet on the top left. So I suppose if this is the ratio of sit-out players and playing players, there should be soon 70 players dropping out or something. Let's ISO raise, or well, he got linked behind as well, but I think it's fine either way. And this one we are going to check on the flop. And when there is 4 straight on the board, I think betting would probably be too thin. Even, well, maybe even against this guy. And bottom right, I decided to shove the river for fluff. I would do it with some decent queen X or better pretty much. And then we run into huge setup. Any big blind, so shoving is going to be the optimal line pretty much. Well, we still have a tiny bit of chance. And 10 high is not. Flush draw. Let's hit anything. We don't hit anything, but let's try to see bet the pot down. And luckily it works. It's the main benefit of, like, in top left ISO raising that smallest pocket pair compared to just overlimping is that it's going to be less often that one player behind us will be raising when we raise ourselves, and we more often can get chance to see bet and take the pot down that way. And pocket tens is mandatory 3 bet on the upper right. We are in the position, so we can go for a bit smaller sizing. And bottom left, I think I will go for the shove. The chip leader should be pretty wide here, so be kind of fine play. Seems like the free roll might start to get it more normal play board player structure. But we have 3 players. Well, I don't think we want to open 3-5 probably. The 7-8, if they will lane call, I'm just going to try to double barrel some clubs pretty much. Will be kind of a scare card for most of the villain range if the flush completes. And if he bets a turn, we kind of have to call with the 10 and 7 blocks. I mean, he might have hit some random jack X or straight, but I suppose it's kind of a nice spot to be bluffing as well, so oh, he hit the king. Well, queen 7 we can shove or limp, basically both are fine. I'm actually going to shove for value this king 9. I think this player can be calling many weaker hands as well. And we are actually dominating, and we get split spots. Oh. I should have actually bet on the bottom left myself, but well, outer table it seems like I have run into kind of a setup here. And I don't think I can fold against this guy on the top left. He actually had hit again with the dominating hand. I mean, I think he can have almost everything here. Well, the king high itself can have surprisingly much showdown value. Well, king 10, bottom left, I'm just going to check behind. We have a decent amount of showdown and playability. The turn didn't really help us, so if he had made the bet, I might have just folded. It seems like the board developed in a way that we probably lose that one. I should have actually called here, or was it me? It was just a call. Oh yeah, there was no small blind. I think I were the big blind and something like that. Drawing dead jack is going to give him full house. King or queen, or 5 or 10. Good as well. Kind of interesting flop on the bottom left, because basically it should be hitting villain range quite a bit. Let's take check back line. I will then check again. I will go for the delayed c-bet. And this is kind of crappiest possible bluffing hand on the river. I think king 7 is really close. Of course we could try to limp as well, but so how many super short stack we have here? And we are looking for check shove here. Top pair open ended straight draw, so even if he has like overpair, we are going to be in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, he actually has one of the wars. 9 wasn't out anymore. Basically, there is like 30 players that has just few big blind with satellite. Quite a double barrel on the bottom left. And I think we have the best hand on the bottom right pretty often. Yeah, we are going to lose often on the bottom right, but there are still, if he's doing that play as semi-bluff, there are quite a bit of those possible. Yeah, he does it with total air, and of course he luck boxes. Oh well. Classical stuff. Oh, is the upper left guy the same one that? I think it's the same fizzy guy. On the top left, I don't think he's going to often bet here with plan to fold, so I'm just going to shove. If I call, there can be like fourth heart, and it can shut down action if he has like top pair. Sometimes the nut flush will actually connect when you check behind with it. Leading this flop. I think we could argue about raising here if we want to have some raise folding range. It's kind of hard to believe that he would have the AX, or maybe some sort of bottom 2 pair or mid pair or something. Something along those lines. Kind of close on the bottom right, but well, maybe we can still check fold. Three, 6 off, not quite enough. Luckily we got Volk. Oh, he actually still raise folded. He only had 5 big blind or something. Well, king 4 is always plus EV. And king 9 we pretty much have to call. That's stack depth. Okay, now we don't have 60% of players or 60% of players sitting out on the top left. Something new. This guy has been min racing quite a bit, so I think we can have some fold equity. We have bit over 20 big blind, so I think I just shouted hand. I mean, if we make smaller 3-bet, it's kind of questionable. Can we fold against the big blind anymore? And bottom left we have decent candidate for 3-bet fold. On the bottom right I called because we still beat quite a bit of the semi-bluffing combos. And we don't block that many of those, but flush draw complete, so we can't really do anything at that point anymore. And ace queen will be definitely calling hand if the PP shoves here, and we have to check behind the flop, and we hit the second notch. So if he bets, we just call, and if he checks, we are going to bet. And outer table I run again ace king suited versus aces. Well,